Good morning and welcome to the Mental Health Warriors. And this is coffee morning. And today I am joined by the birthday boy himself, Adam Duval. We'll be back right after this. Good morning.
Evening.
Evening. Is it time to celebrate already?
Celebrate what?
It's your birthday.
I don't do birthdays, but okay.
Well, you know,
I
it's
know.
the time to celebrate. You're here. You're here with me on coffee morning. What more
I
could you
know.
want on your birthday?
I know. Birthday date, innit?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh dear, we were having quite an interesting conversation before we came on live this morning, and we were talking about the effects that social media can have on us, certainly with our mental health, and certainly over the last couple of years, social media had kind of became the way to keep in contact with everyone, didn't it?
It is, yeah. It can be both beneficial and impact. Yeah.
Yeah. As is the case with pretty much most things in life, it is very much about how we choose to view it, how we choose to see it, how we choose to feel about it, what we believe about it, what we think about it. But it's become very obvious, even since way back before these last 2 years, that certain activities or non-activities on social media can be detrimental to people's mental health.
Yep.
As we were saying earlier this morning, sometimes we can post something, I don't know, that's to do with our businesses, for example, and we might get 6 or 7 people interacting with the post. And yet, if we put something up about our pets, our cats, our dogs, or whatever pets we've got, the world and his wife join in and interact on the post, which is quite amazing. But it's those posts that get fewer interactions that we can start to think, well, what's wrong with the post? Do people not like it? Or people obviously don't like, what I'm doing, and they're not interested, and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, well, it was like yesterday when I uploaded a post about my birthday that, hang on a minute, who actually cares? Because at the end of the day, in the comments, because I was reading the comments, but I wasn't reacting to any of them. Well, I reacted to a few, but I was looking at them and I was getting both attacked and support at the same time.
Okay, I mean, attacked is a very strong word, isn't it?
All right, and I won't say attacked. I'd say more. I don't even know if there is a word.
I think I know the post that you're referring to, and I did read the comments, and I believe what's going on there is that people are merely voicing their opinions.
Yeah, and that's why I've not reacted.
Yeah, and that's absolutely fine, and amongst those opinions, a lot were people wanting to wish you a happy birthday. Yeah. Excuse me. Which they have every right to do.
They do.
And people will wish you a happy birthday. Some people won't. Some people will take heed at your request in your post. Other people will carry on and wish you a happy birthday regardless, because that's who they are. That's how they are. And they feel compelled to wish you a happy birthday because they care about it.
Yeah.
So in this instance, you know, there are conflicting views, aren't there? There's your views and there's their views.
Yeah.
So what do we do in a situation like that?
Compromise.
Okay, yeah.
That's what I'd say. But this is why an individual actually asked me to remove the post, and I'm like, no. No, and I don't want to, because at the end of the day, yes, he's expressed how he feels, but so have I. And obviously, going back to it, we're fully in our right to express how we feel. I know it's not like looking for attention or looking for empathy or anything like that. It's just expressing how you feel. It's letting that, because we've all got our own individual methods in letting that emotion out. And that's how I felt like I needed to do that. Unwanted energy.
Yeah, and that's you know, as you say, that's absolutely your right. You know, everybody has that right.
Yeah.
But let's move on from that and let's look at other things, because there has been you know, a lot of cyberbullying going on, and that can be very detrimental to, very damaging to people. And I mean, you know, how do we stop that?
Maybe better understanding. Yeah. Why I say that, because getting these victims to actually accept that they have been victimized, they have been coerced into anything like this, and if they can talk about things like this, it'll be brilliant. And this is why I brought Kane Novak on, because he's going to do his show, which starts in, I think, a couple of weeks or next week, whenever, and he's going to talk about the impacts of bullying.
Excellent. Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Would it also not be fair to say that perhaps we all need a little bit of educating as far as how we respond is concerned?
Yeah, because obviously schools, here we go, education, here we go. Because they've all got this anti-bullying tolerance and all that.
Let's leave it on social media, because that's kind of where we're at the moment, where we're talking.
Yeah. Well, this is what I mean.
You know, if you or I are on the receiving end of what is commonly known as a troll, and there's an element of bullying in their comments, how best can we respond?
Simple. Ignore, block, move on.
Absolutely.
So 3 steps.
Absolutely. Spot on. It's essential for our own mental health. I mean, these people, even people that we know, you know, if they're coming out with stuff that doesn't sit well with us, if they're enforcing their opinions on us, and you know, on social media, and saying things that are or could be potentially damaging to our own mental health, we would do exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
That absolutely essential. Absolutely essential.
I agree.
Yeah. So we do actually have a choice as to how we respond and react to things of that nature, don't we?
Oh, we have a choice in everything. Everything's a choice.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And obviously, I'm a little bit down today, but I'm still here. I've still laughed. Kerry got me a wonderful card that arrived this morning. There you go.
Brilliant. Brilliant. You see, and that's the thing. It's important as well to know, isn't it, that even though we might be feeling a bit low, a bit flat, a bit down, that we do have people around us who care, who love us.
We carry on.
Help and support us when we need it.
Yeah.
You know. And I think this is something else to be learnt with regards to social media as well, is that it's fine to put across how we're feeling, what we're thinking, you know, what our wishes are, what our dreams are. Equally, And again, it comes down to making those choices, those decisions about how we react and respond to these things is to the responses from other people. You know, if you read something on a social media platform that you don't like or that you don't agree with, is your response worth putting?
Yes and no.
Bearing in mind that we have to live with the consequences of
Yeah.
our actions.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because it's like we've all got our views on everything. Yeah, absolutely everything. And I've now obviously I disagreed with a lot of things over the time. And now I've actually learned that's life. That's circle of life. Because at the end of the day, we're all gonna have disagreements. Me and Kerry have our disagreements all the time. But at the end of the day, she's right, and so am I.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It reminds me also that this morning of I was on a particular social media platform and I engaged with a post that had been put on today by somebody that I know. And I'm not just connected with this person, I know them as well.
Yeah.
And this person can quite often use what is probably considered as bad language, swearing, you know,
Okay.
not in a nasty way, not in an offensive way, you know, as in they're not speaking to somebody and calling them names or anything like that. It's just generally the way this person speaks. It's in their vocabulary.
Habit.
It's well, you know, yes and no, but it is part of that person's character. You know, it doesn't make them a bad person. And there were a few comments on that particular post, and somebody had posted saying or commented saying that you know, sometimes they don't have the choice to switch off if they're in the room and this person is speaking or a person is speaking and using what they consider is swearing, foul language, bad language, or whatever. Yeah, and as I'm reading through the comments and this particular person that made that comment, and I realised that this particular person was clearly feeling offended at the fact that this person that I'm connected with does, okay, you know, use swear words in their vocabulary, and it got me thinking, and I thought, well, you know, why are we offended by these things? You know, we have created these words and we have decided the meaning that those words have, and we've also decided whether or not we find them offensive or inappropriate.
Well, going back to that, we ourselves personally never created them. It's what we was taught by our ancestors, which went on to their ancestors.
Yeah, when I say we, I'm talking about the collective,
exactly.
As in the human race. Yeah.
The thing is, like with the mental health warriors, like we don't like swearing or anything like that. But like last week on Coffee Morning, I don't know if you watched it, but Kane and Alan were on and they were effing and all that. But the thing is, I only saw one thing in that: passion.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. It's
you had to, didn't you?
It's a way of expressing oneself, isn't it?
You had to, didn't you?
Absolutely. And this one. There you go, see? It is a way of expressing oneself.
Yeah.
And as far as I'm concerned, I'm neither offended by any of those words. You know, I don't use them greatly, but I'm not offended by them.
No.
But then it's never been part of me or my character to use them anyway. You know, that's not to say that I don't. I do, but
I know you do.
But it also, so it's kind of like, you know, I explained to this person that had commented, the person that had made the post had also described themselves as Marmite, which basically means, you either love that person or hate that person, And if you think about it, none of us are here to appeal to every single person alive on the planet.
Exactly.
So if you like, we're all very much like Marmite. So we're all going to have our own opinions. We're all going to have our own thoughts and beliefs about things. And they're all going to be very different. And some people we'll agree with and some people we won't.
Yeah.
So if
we'll put it out there. No, I'm not drinking alcohol. I'm drinking filtered water. Just so for anyone.
Chris, I love a good swear.
Come on, Kerry. I know it's Monday.
But I'm Scottish. I love it.
Exactly.
It's what we decide it to be, isn't it? And it's exactly the same with any post, any comment on social media. How are we gonna, what do we think about that? We're entitled to our own thoughts and our own opinions about them. But let's not forget that we are all very different as well. And if that's how we are and that's how we come across, you don't have to agree with it. You don't have to even like it. And if you don't agree with it and you don't like it, but, is it really worth putting that forward? Is it really worth actually making, contact and making those comments? Because all you're doing, all anyone's doing is exchanging their opinion.
Well, this is what I mean when I said earlier before we came on. It's all about acceptance in the support network. And there's that saying, what you see is what you get. But I've now learned that's not quite true. I'm actually against that statement because in the day, there's something more powerful on the inside. And yeah.
Explain that.
Because obviously I'm practically like this, but there's something more powerful. And for years and years and years, people are very, I'm not going to say reluctant, I'm going to say very isolated in actually letting their inner self out. We're like a seed. We're all like seeds. And because of like childhood trauma, online bullying, all that, we're scared. It's that fear of actually allowing ourselves to grow.
I think you're right, actually. There are many, many people out there who are afraid to allow themselves to grow, but perhaps even don't realise quite how powerful they are as
We're all powerful.
individuals. But it's again, as I say, it's we're all going to have an opinion about something.
Yeah.
And that opinion, as you've rightly explained and expressed, is true for you.
Yeah.
It might not be true for the other person, but it's true in your world, in your model of the world.
Yeah.
I might have a different opinion about something to you. In fact, I know that I do. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Your opinion is not wrong. My opinion's not wrong.
No.
And this is something that I've spoken about before, not on here, I don't think, but certainly in posts that I've put out on social media on occasions, is that we all have different opinions and they're all true to us as individuals in our own models of the world.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And just because they differ doesn't make either one of them wrong.
No.
Now, what's important to remember with that, as I'm sure you will agree, is that it's how we respond to those opinions.
Yeah, exactly.
And I've,
have you got a method? Have you got a strategy to do that?
I wouldn't say it's necessary. Well, I suppose it is a strategy, but it's something that can work for all of us, really, in as much as just if we understand where these opinions come from. Yeah. If we understand what an opinion is an expression of what we believe as individuals, because that fits into our own little world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our model of the world, the wider world. And as I've said, everybody's going to have differing opinions. There'll be one group of people who will have similar opinions, another group of people who will have similar opinions that are different to that group of people, and so on and so on and so on and so on. And that's absolutely fine. That's what makes us different from each other. It's what makes us individual, or part of what makes us individual. And so understanding that and accepting that, and then giving yourself a mental note, a reminder to say, when you read something that somebody else has put, remember that that's their opinion. And yours might not be the same as that. Yours might be the opposite. Yours might be completely different. But let's not go and put that person down or shout against their opinion just because ours is different. Because where's that going to get anybody?
Exactly.
You know, and like you said, there's something much, much deeper within us.
Yeah.
And it's something that connects each and every one of us. You know? And if we can't be there and just help each other, we don't have to help every single person on the planet, as much as that would be amazing. But if we're there within our own circles, if we can help and support each other, you know, have those conversations, have those difficult conversations, have those challenging conversations, have those hilarious conversations, you know, it's surely then the world, in particular the social media world, would be a better place.
Exactly, and as you rightfully said, and as Chris rightfully said also, it's basically, if we're all serious and we're all positive, get me off this world now. Because at the end of the day, it's good to have that a little bit of negativity with us. It's good to have those disagreements with people. It's good because at the end of the day, it shows connection.
Yeah,
with those people, and also, and I know people who disagree with themselves sometimes. I know I do, but it's good for our. Am I allowed to say it? It's good for our immune system.
Excuse me. I mean, who knows? Who knows? Maybe it is. But I mean, you know, laughter is good for it. That's for sure. It's good for our well-being, our own well-being. But yeah, Chris is right. Too many people do get triggered and are too quick to jump on and comment on posts.
Yeah,
I think it's down to what we're commenting on or what we're posting. And let's face it, you know, our moods are going to change. You know, at various points throughout the day, we're never going to be consistently on one mood for long periods of time. You know, we're never going to be that level. That's not how we work, because of so many other things that are going on around us in our, you know, smaller world at home and in the wider world beyond. So when you read something that's printed in black and white, or, you know, you can't possibly know the absolute tone and attitude that's coming through as the person who's writing it is putting into it. And I liken it to, you know, watching a film. Let's say, you know, people are absolutely raving about a particular film, and you think, okay, I've got to watch it. I've got to go see it. So you go and see it, or you watch it on the television or whatever. And you sit there and you get to the end and you think, what the hell was all the fuss about?
I know, exactly. Yeah. And it's like,
then you can go back and watch it again sometime later,
and you'll have a different view.
You have a completely different experience of it. And it's exactly the same when we're reading posts. You know, we can read it and we can think, wow, actually, yeah, that's an amazing post. Or another time we can read it and we can just think, what the hell? What is that on? What are they talking about? That's absolute rubbish.
Exactly. And like currently, me and Kerry are watching something called Peaky Blinders on Netflix.
Yeah.
Because people kept talking about it on social media. So thinking, right, okay, what's all the fuss about? Kerry got into it straight away. Me, I was on the fence. I was on the fence with it. But now we're on season 3. I thought, okay, there's something to this now. But it took me 3 seasons to actually get interested in it, because first couple, I was just on the fence.
You know, I've had when I say I've had a similar experience, I didn't watch it right from the very beginning when it first was aired.
No.
And literally loads and loads of people were raving about it.
Yeah.
And eventually, when it came out on Netflix, I thought, well, okay, I'll give it a go. And I got 20 minutes into the first episode in the first season, and I hadn't got a clue what was going on, and I gave it up. I haven't gone back to it yet. I'm sure one day I will. One day I will. Just, you know, because it's I do like things like that, because they're true to life, and I like factual stuff as much as I love fiction, to be honest.
Yeah.
I do like the factual stuff. But that's a really great example that you've just given there.
Yeah. Exactly. See, I'm currently watching another box set as well called The Walking Dead. Kerry can't get into it.
No.
She likes what happens with how, without triggering anyone, how people die, but she can't get into it. But me, I love it. I absolutely love it. I can't get enough of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, what we do have in common, though, and one film we can watch pretty much all day, every day, Shawshank Redemption.
It's a brilliant film. Absolutely brilliant film. I've always liked that film.
Can't get bored of that film.
No. No, absolutely. And yet there are going to be people out there who would disagree with that.
Yeah.
You know, and that's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
That's absolutely fine. But what is it? What do we do with that disagreement, though? And how do we respond and react to that disagreement when we're on the receiving end of it? This is what I'm saying, you know, and I accept that this is right the way through any aspect of life. It's not just solely on social media. But
I would with the response definitely compromise, because at the end of the day you're going to get the agree to disagree moment. But either way.
And again, there are going to be some comments where you just look at it and you just think it's not even worth a response.
No, it's not. It's not.
And that's the thing. And I think sometimes we can be in that place where we'll look at a response and we'll take it to heart.
I agree. And I think, and I know people are going to disagree with me on this, because I know it annoys Kerry from time to time, where when she wants to vent, like she's peed off with me or something like that, she does this like 1,000-word essay to me, and all I respond is, okay. She does not like it.
But sometimes, you know, that's the only response that's needed, isn't it?
Yeah, because after that, okay, where does the conversation go? Yeah, exactly. Because it shows it, doesn't it? That just, you're just doing that in a nutshell.
That's it. As I say, it is all down to how we perceive that comment, that post, those words that have been written, how they come across to us, and how we respond to.
Yeah, but even then, if you don't want to see that post on your social media, there's always that option to remove it from your news feed.
You can remove it.
Then when you go back, it doesn't show it.
Yeah, or you can just scroll past. That's what I do. I just scroll past. Yeah. You're absolutely right. We have that option. If you see something that you don't like or you don't agree with, scroll past.
You know what? I have to say as well, and with Kerry watching, stress is a choice as well.
Yeah.
She does not like me saying that.
But you're absolutely right. It is. I mean, and this is, stress is one of the things that comes into how we choose to react and respond to stuff that we see on social media, and it, as I say, it can be somebody's post, it can be somebody's comment on something that you've posted. It's, I occasionally I'll have comments on my posts, and I just look at them and I just think, yeah, okay. And that's that. I'm not that's somebody else's opinion. It's not mine, and that's fine. It's not a problem. If, however, and this has happened, albeit only once, somebody puts a comment on a post that I've made, and this actually happened. I put a post in one of my social media groups. And again, it was all about making choices, and the fact that we have the ability to make those choices. I forget the exact reason for posting it. However,
it's irrelevant now. Irrelevant.
Yeah, but somebody I know and have known for a very long time decided to comment on the post and actually put up some personal information about me on that post on a social media public platform. Yeah. And I had to remove the comment. And I did message that person and had to explain that it was not for them to post that information, that it was down to me. It was up to me. And, please don't do anything like that again in the future. Now, somebody else may well have responded to that completely differently.
Yeah.
So, as I say, we have those choices. We do have the option there to choose how to respond to things like that. If I wasn't aware of the things that I'm aware of today and have been for a huge number of years, I may well have responded to that completely differently. And I may well have replied to that comment, and an argument may well have ensued, and that's not good for anybody. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to have an argument. You're never not going to have arguments, but, because it's in the public domain.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And when it comes to arguments, you have to think the long term in that, because short term, yeah, you're having that argument with that conflict with someone. In the long term, you're arguing with yourself.
Again, I would kind of disagree there, only because I see things differently, obviously. I will tend to think in the moment. Yeah. I will sometimes think a little bit longer term, because it depends on the comment that's been made, the nature of the conversation, and whether or not it has an effect on something, moving forward.
Yeah.
But generally, it's a case of, right, okay, so I've seen this particular comment. I don't agree with it. How do I respond? Do I respond? What's the appropriate action to take? Yeah. And so it is about weighing up the pros and cons of it. It is about, if I leave it there, how does that affect things right now? How does it affect things in the future? But how we feel about it moving forward, I would say kind of relates to what you said about longer term, we're only having that argument with ourselves. Because if we're carrying those negative feelings with us for longer than is really necessary, then yes, the only argument you're having is with yourself. So the only person it's going to hurt is us. It's not going to hurt the person that made the comment that we didn't agree with.
Agreed.
So again, it's all down to choices, isn't it?
And also, I highly recommend, even with social media, once a month, have a clear out of friends that are not serving your value.
This is the thing, we have that option as well, don't we?
Yeah.
You know,
See, once we get off here, I'll be having a clear out.
Yeah, I mean, if we're using social media platforms to help promote ourselves and our businesses, for example, you know, the wider the audience, the better in many respects, because that's going to help us reach our ideal clients in many respects. But I also agree that if there are people that we're connected with on social media that aren't serving us, if they are people that are constantly, or more often than not, I should say, not constantly, fighting against what we're doing, disagreeing with what we're saying, you can disconnect from them, and it doesn't matter, because, you know, social media is not real life. No. We don't have to be connected on social media with every single person that we know in real life. Yeah. I'm not connected with every single family member or with every single friend that I've got on social media. I have friends who I spend a great deal of time with in person that I'm not connected with on social media.
Yeah.
And that's not an issue either.
No, it's not. No, but what I do believe, though, is if people remember, and they're old enough and wise enough to remember, there was a paper called News of the World.
Yeah.
Do you not think social media has become that now?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. And, you know, we're still getting the same rubbish reports.
Yeah.
Did I really say that? But anyway, that's a whole other topic.
Don't get us starting on media, Kerry. Don't get us starting.
No, that's a whole other conversation, but let's not go there today. Yeah, but it is. You're right. It just boils down to that one thing, doesn't it? It's we have the choice as to how we react and respond to anything, everything in life. And you know what? If we choose to feel sad, upset, pissed off, or whatever, you know, about a certain situation, and we choose to feel like that for, you know, days, weeks, months, the only person it's going to hurt is us. It has no bearing on anyone else. Kerry wants a horse and carriage.
Why?
Why not?
Why though?
Also, the other question: why not?
We've got no.
See, there's always another side.
Because thing is, I see a point about storing the horse in the shed. Fair enough. Like get in the shed door, cut it in half. Fair enough. Turn it into a stable. Okay.
You'd need a huge shed for a horse. And a bit of a bigger garden as well.
Yeah. Where are we going to put the carriage, though? Oh, for God's sake. Now she's on to petrol prices.
It's true, though. Mind you, you say that, you know, it could cost just as much to have to feed and water the horse and keep it clean.
You know what? I'm just going to answer all them comments by Kerry in one go. Words from her dad. Legs were born before wheels.
Very true. However, I will say...
Oh, no, come on. You're not going to do this.
No, I'm just going to say wheels do come in very handy when you've got several bags of food shopping.
Yeah.
Yeah. A trolley. Get a shopping trolley. You can have one each. There. Problem solved.
Yeah.
Problem solved.
Exactly. And if we've got room, we can shove the kids in the back of it as well. There you go.
No, but again, it's all down to choices, isn't it? And, you know, how do we respond to these things? Is it worth our response, you know, or do we just ignore and move on? This is what I used to say about
both
TV programs, though, you know, years and years ago. What was her name? Barbara Woodhouse. Barbara Woodhouse. Oh, she was the lady that used to do the dog training, I think. Or anyway, there was somebody way back then. It was about the same time as Barbara Woodhouse, who used to. She used to disagree with all sorts of things on the TV, and she'd write about it, and it would be printed in newspapers, or she'd be interviewed on the TV about it. And
was it your generation by any chance?
Probably, yeah. No, but you know, all these things that she'd come out with, and she disagreed with this, and she disagreed with that, and all of this stuff, you know. And this is one person's opinion. Now, admittedly, there were some that agreed with her, but even back then, bearing in mind I was teenager at the time, early teens, I sat there and I thought, if you don't like what you're watching, you can change the channel, or you can just switch the television off and go and do something else. You know.
Yeah. Are you on about this Barbara that is a dog trainer?
Yeah, no, I don't think it was Barbara Woodhouse that did. It was somebody else, Mary Whitehouse.
I have not got a clue.
I can't remember.
I'm trying to find her.
It was a long time ago, very long time ago. Before you were even thought of, Adam.
What?
I said before you were even thought of.
I know.
But you know, anyway. But that's the thing. You know, I've always believed we have a choice. We can either sit there and take it in and let it affect us in ways that are not great, or we can go, do you know what? I'm not interested. That doesn't sit well with me. I don't want to know. Change the channel. Scroll past.
Yeah.
Hit the off button. Ignore. Move on. Yeah.
I wish I could turn the off button on Kerry from time to time, but hey, she thinks she's gonna kill me.
I doubt she'll kill you.
No, she won't. No. But she'll actually praise me because she's been trying all morning to get me smiling.
Smile. What is there to not smile about?
Well, she says, smile because you may not do it ever again.
Okay.
There we go. Robert Brooker's here.
Hi, Robert. Good to see you.
I know it'll be like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, kids' time.
Wow. Early bird. Absolutely, Kerry. Smile and the world smiles back. Did you know it takes far less muscles to smile than it does to frown? And when you're smiling, you can't possibly be thinking negatively. And as I said, you know, as you rightly said, Adam, it is a choice.
Yeah, it is.
There you go. There was a smile if ever I saw one. Not yet. Right. Anything that you want to add to the conversation, or shall we call it a day for today?
I think we should call it for a day.
Absolutely. Early finish, especially as it's your birthday.
I know.
Brilliant.
Oh, well.
There. That was a good start to your day, at least.
Yeah, we have to start somewhere.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Right, everybody, thank you so much for joining us today. If you haven't already, please do click subscribe and like, and you know, even share if you want to, if you're watching this on YouTube. And we will see you next week.